always spoken numerous times that the illegal Constitutional Amendment Act, now called Constitutional Amendment Act, because Emerson Mnangagwa has actually signed it into law and it has been gazetted. As much as it is a law, it is a law that is illegal. I think it should be put into contest, or we can simply say an anti-people law, a law that was embraced by, in fact, concocted from the bedroom of Emerson and actually given to the people of Zimbabwe. That is what exactly happened. Money played a factor in terms of Emerson Mnangagwa achieving this illegal process. And today, addressing journalists in a choreographed press briefing, selected journalists were invited, not everybody. Just those journalists that actually mostly report ZANU-PF news, that works in state media. They are the ones who actually interviewed Emerson Mnangagwa. I say it was a choreographed because most probably is given questions before he answers them. And in spite of that, he gave very, very poor answers that exposed that Mnangagwa, beyond reasonable doubt, is the godfather of Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 of 2026, which is now Constitutional Amendment Act number 3 of 2026, forced into the throats of the people of Zimbabwe. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So let's hear Emerson Mnangagwa when he was asked a question. It was a good question, Barwe, but definitely the answer exposed Emerson Mnangagwa. Let's hear the question. Just bear with me.
My great, Your Excellency, when you heard that the Parliament of Zimbabwe had passed the bill, CAP 3, into CAP, and when you heard about it, how did you feel?
I felt they done the correct thing. I expect them to pass it, so I was happy.
You were quite happy?
Yes.
So, in terms of the wording of Emerson Mnangagwa, he's asked the question, very, very good question to come from Ruben Barwe. I must say that, President, what was your feeling when you heard that CAP 3 has been actually, has set sailed through the Parliament as well as the Senate? What came into your mind? Emerson Mnangagwa, with an answer that exposed him, he answers and said, I expected them to pass it. I expected them to pass it. Now, he says, I had no reasonable doubt they were supposed to deliver, they were supposed to pass this bill. It was an expectation from me. You cannot speak in such a manner if the bill is not coming from you and if it is not your product. And apart from that, he says, I was happy because I expected them to pass that. In fact, it does not only say I expected. He said, I expected them to do the right thing. They did the right thing. He says CAP 3 is the right thing. So this story that we've been given by Mnangagwa, or his line of thought, that when his time comes to an end, he will leave office. He was deceiving the people of Zimbabwe. He was deceiving those who thought that the monies that were thrown into the campaign of this bill, it was just a process that was merely done by overzealous members of ZANU-PF. The very time Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa was denying that he is the brains behind this illegal process, I already, the very first time when he did an interview with CNN, an interview that contradicted what he had agreed with the retired generals, most of them whom they have died up to today, and they continue, by the way, to die. We'll talk about that particular story in another live broadcast, but now we are focused on this. So Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, by saying, I expected, they did the right thing. In simple terms, if this bill was not voted for, it will, in his world, be a wrong thing. That is what he is simply telling the people of Zimbabwe. And number two, he says, I would be happy if this bill did not sail through. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa would not be happy. That is the thing. So they did the right thing. I was happy. And also I expected. This was part of the expectations, nothing less than that. So anyone who actually did not vote for this bill, whether it was a ZANU-PF member, and to the west of what transpired, the also Citizens Coalition for Change members, obviously belonging to Sengezo Chabang group or crew, voted for that bill. And we know that money played a factor into this. It's not because people were voting with their conscience. It's not because these parliamentarians were voting representing their constituencies. They were not representing their constituencies. They were actually delivering based on the promise of money that was put on the table. In simple terms, 30 pieces of silver became a big deal to these members of parliament. So these statements that have been uttered carelessly, boldly, but carelessly by Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa demonstrates beyond reasonable doubt that this bill came from the bedroom of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, and it was imposed to the people of Zimbabwe. It is not a bill for Zimbabweans. And just like what Ian Khama and retired generals said, and other Zimbabweans are saying, this bill stands to benefit Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. It stands to quench the happiness of Mnangagwa rather than the happiness of the people of Zimbabwe. That is what it is. In simple terms, this is a gain for Mnangagwa, not the people of Zimbabwe. This is a gain to the wife of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, not the people of Zimbabwe. To the people of Zimbabwe, this is the worst thing that has ever happened, because their right to vote for a president or the members of the executive has been taken away from them. They only now remain, and it would be also be rigged, that right. Their votes would also be rigged, which means, in fact, it has always been what Mnangagwa simply did through CAP 3. This is what he has been doing, especially when it comes to elections, imposing himself. In 2018, he was pathetically beaten. In 2023, that is what exactly happened. He was pathetically beaten. And this is a man who is revenging to the people of Zimbabwe. He didn't have to do even the referendum to try to sanitize what he has done. What he did was simply a process that he defined himself. He did not care about the feelings of the people of Zimbabwe. He only cared. It's an egocentric president. It's an egocentric and selfish personality. That is actually the true personification of Emerson Mnangagwa. Nothing but a very selfish human being to ever exist in the face of Mother Earth. And everything that he is doing is selfish, he is heartless, and he is not even a presidential material, so to speak. The right place for Emerson Mnangagwa in this Mother Earth, if people had the power, it is the prison. The right place for Emerson Mnangagwa beyond this world, it would definitely be hell, because he cannot do what he did here definitely beyond this world. He has to be punished beyond this world, just like his actually ally Robert Gabriel Mugabe. They actually belong to the same crew of demagogues. What a moment to be alive and witness this continued ruthlessness of Emerson Mnangagwa. Indeed, he was correct. He became happy. The people of Zimbabwe are not happy. And that is why, none other than anything, this Emerson Mnangagwa and his regime, including Zwikananda's, have to be defeated as a matter of urgency. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Signing off. Let me love